Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to 31 Days of Content. Today I am going to be doing a eyeshadow bingo style video with the Odenseye Solmane 2 palette. This is also going to be in collaboration with my friend Steph over on IG. I will be showcasing her look at the end, and I will leave her handle below if you want to go give her a follow and check her out. I highly recommend her, obviously. But we just thought that this would be something really fun to do, and I'm glad that she wanted to do it with me. So yeah, I'll jump into the details as we go. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and if you enjoy this video at any time, go ahead and give it a thumbs up as well. It really does help my channel. So yeah, let's go. All right, like I mentioned, we're going to be using the Solmane 2 palette from Odenseye. I have really fallen in love with this palette this year since I got it. Super, super beautiful color story. And I thought this would be a great way for you guys to see multiple looks. If you don't know how eyeshadow bingo goes, essentially all of the shades in here have been numbered. I will insert a photo up there. And then I'm going to use a random number generator to determine what shadows in the palette I will be using. Steph did one look. We both decided we wanted to use 4 shades. So she's done that look. So you will see her look at the end. And then so you guys could kind of get kind of like a 3 looks, 1 palette deal. I'm going to draw random shades for each eye. So I'm going to show you guys 2 looks today. So let's go ahead and get started. I have already screen recorded. The first eye we're going to be doing is the shade, I pulled the numbers 9, 5, 12, and 3, which are the shades Galaxy, Nebula, Sunlight, and Neptune. So we have a fun color story to play with. I think both of them are going to be a little bit challenging, but hey, that's part of it. I think that'll make for a fun video. So per usual, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to prime with the Urban Decay Potion Primer. This stuff is the best. Like, nothing competes with it if you don't want creasy eyeshadow. So, love this stuff. And then I'm going to actually, let's see, I got Galaxy, Nebula, those are really dark shades, Sunlight, and then a Neptune, which is that really pretty shade there. What do we want to do, you guys? We're gonna have to get creative. I'm not super into gold, so that's kind of what's me in this palette, this pick, if you will, for me. I am gonna use a setting shade. I think I'm gonna go into my Mercury Retrograde palette. Mine's busted. I'm really hoping that the shade, like the shadows, won't dry out or anything, but I don't know. And I'm gonna just lightly, this might not be, let's see, let's use, I got some new brushes, so I'm like, you know, kind of dabbling in what they're nice for, but I'm gonna just set this lid so that we don't get any creasing. Last time I used this palette though, I didn't experience any creasing with it, and I didn't set the lid, so the formula is just good like that. So yeah, now that we have that set down, I think what I want to do is go into a fluffy brush, and I'm gonna use the shade Neptune first, and we're gonna just go from there. So there's Neptune, really, really pretty shade in my opinion. And I'm gonna just take this, oh, that's like way more like blue than I was anticipating. I was expecting more of a seafoam green situation, but she's blue. So there's a lot of kick up in the pan on this one. A lot of fallout on the face, but as you can see, the shadow is pigmented and it blends out really well, so those things aren't gonna bother me. Now, I feel like maybe the blue would be the more obvious choice to put out in the outer portion, but last time I used this palette on camera, I used that dark blue shade, so I actually think what I want to do is I want to use the Galaxy shade here, which is the purple. And I'm going to put that in the outer corner there. And start to build that up. I'm going to just tap the brush off a little bit. And I'm going to start packing this into the outer corner. It's a really beautiful pigmented purple. And then, gosh darn it, you guys. I still, so the bronchitis has like simmered down. I then got a pretty nasty cold, which I'm now pretty much over, which, like, you know, thank goodness and stuff. And the doctor said that my cough from bronchitis, I can have that for potentially months. So cheers to that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with that for now. And then let's put, since I pulled that gold shimmer in Sunlight, let's put a little bit of that on the lid. I'm gonna use a little bit of glitter glue, just so we have a little bit of a tackier base. That's what Sunlight looks like here. So these are like, the fun thing about eyeshadow palette or eyeshadow bingo is that, I mean, you can get colors that you don't often put together or think to pull together, or if you're like kind of stumped with the palette or feeling like uninspired by it, this can always be fun for that as well, because you're gonna pull stuff that you probably wouldn't typically think to reach for or to pair together. So this is always like a fun little thing you can do for that as well. And then it's also fun when you like can collab with someone, because then you know, you get to see that many more looks, which I think is fun. And then I'm gonna just use a little bit more of the purple out here and fill that in. But yeah, I think that looks nice so far. Definitely a very bold color story, which, I mean, palette's pretty bold, so like, what do we really expect, you know? And then I think what I'll do with this dark blue is I'm gonna use that on the lower lash line. So we will come back to that after I finish my base. And I'm gonna clean up this under eye over here because he's pretty messy. She's pretty messy. Okay, so I got that under eye cleaned up. Now I'll show you guys for the second eye, the numbers that were randomly selected for me were 11, 7, 10, and 2, which is gonna give me the shades Warm Light, which is the shade that I wanted to play with most, like I was itching to play with. Dream, which we've used before. And then Hallucinations, which is that gorgeous shimmery purple. And then Mercury, which is that other shimmer shade. So I think what I want to do is I want to go in with the Dream shade, and I think I'm going to put that in the crease and work it up in the transition and try to keep it out of, like, you know, the general lid space, because that's where I think I'm gonna put Warm Light. So I'm gonna go with Dream first, which we've used before, and it is just the most gorgeous, like, periwinkle purple situation. Absolutely stunning. Like, look at this. It is so beautiful. To be honest, I probably should have done my other eye like that because it looks a little messy, but not the shadow's fault. That's the applicant's fault, you know? You ever been there when it's like, oh, it just looks a little rough because I fucked it up? So, okay. So now that we have that in there, try to just clean this up a little bit. Looks like there's like a weird line right there and I don't know why. So next I'm gonna take the warm light shade, which is really pretty shade right there, and that is what I'm gonna start just like packing on to the lid. That shade is spicy. So now we have 2 shimmers left, and we have Hallucinations and Mercury. Maybe we could do like a really pretty like inner corner moment with those. I'm thinking perhaps, let's see. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the Mercury shade first, just on a brush, and start packing that. Well, not really packing it, but I'm gonna start like spreading it in there a little bit to see kind of what that does and how it applies. So I think it could be, yeah, it could be pretty. I'm gonna take a little bit of that Hallucinations. I'm gonna go over it. So we have some of that purple tying in. And I'll take that on the lower lash, I think, as well, to bring some of that out a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to pop off, clean up both of the under eyes, and do some, I'll be back and do some like finishing touches with the shades that we haven't used yet. So one sec. Okay, so here are both final looks. I actually had decided to go ahead and finish them up for you guys. On the lower lash line over here, I did go in with this blue shade, and then for the lower lash line over here, I did do a mixture of the shimmer and this shimmer, which were the 2 that we had to work with. Overall, I mean, I'm not really obsessed with either look. I don't really think that these are looks that I would do. Sorry, my dogs are just being like so loud. Like, it's driving me insane. But I don't think that either of these are looks that I would create organically, which is kind of the fun part of like an eyeshadow bingo. But also like it can be something like, oh, I don't really love it. Because sometimes the color combos you get can be hard or don't really like make sense. So yeah, I'm not obsessed with either look, but I don't hate either look. I will insert now a shot of Steph's look. Beautiful, knocked it out of the park per usual. So now you've seen 3 looks in this video, and then I have a first impressions up as well where I do a really beautiful blue look. I just think that the color combinations I drew weren't really stuff that I loved. I would have loved to brighten this eye up like with this shade instead of this gold. I'm just not really a huge fan of golds. So I would have rather done that. And then like, you know, with this one, I would have rather used like this orange and like this shade, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. All of the products that I used on my face today that you didn't get a chance to see will be linked in the description box if you are curious. And yeah, I hope that, you know, you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up before you leave. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye!